drones incoming on an intercept course. Sir, hostiles inbound, 10 o'clock.
Time for the hero thing.
He's been gone a while, and he's back. Meet Fujin, god of wind and protector of Earthrealm. Don't be fooled by his lustrous locks and Boy Scout attitude. Raiden's baby bro means business, especially when it comes to kicking ass on behalf of us mere mortals. Veronica, Shang Tsung, you better watch out, because my boy Fujin's coming to rock them like a hurricane.
This season on Maneater, everyone's biting off more than they can chew.
Oh, look at you!
The depths will be discovered. The food chain will be disrupted. And the drama will get deadly. Because down here, things always evolve. And the hunter becomes the hunted.
That's the one what took my hand, all right. Get yourself ready, boy.
Maneater. Eat the people, save the world.
Attention, Earth creatures. This planet is now part of the Furon Empire. Your benevolent masters welcome you.
Under here.
What the gameplay needs to do is immerse you in the world, give you as many interesting actions to survive in this world and overcome obstacles. And obstacles could be infected, it could be other people, it could just be the environment, it could be rushing water, anything that could happen in this post-apocalyptic world.
Are you clean? Yeah.
But more than anything, it needs to put you in Ellie's shoes, that you're experiencing what Ellie's experiencing, making you feel what she feels. Because the more we do that, the more the emotional beats of the story work for us, and the more they work for us in this very unique way that only works in video games.
The gameplay philosophy of The Last of Us Part 2 is putting you in the shoes of Ellie and everything that that means. It means giving you a threat constantly, as this world has. It means giving you the hard choices.
Because this game takes place in such a hostile universe and our characters are pushed to do really difficult things, we want to put you in alignment with those choices. We want you to understand how hard certain decisions were for these characters, because they're hard for you.
I would say the overarching philosophy of how we approached designing the game mechanically is how can we take things to the next level.
Everything kind of comes out of the story. And how do we do it through systems? So one is you have to feel the pressure of survival. Survive by the skin of my teeth. How do I use all the scrap around me any kind of bullet, any kind of rag, any kind of bottle of alcohol? How do we give you that sense of being a survivor in this world? Ellie is very small compared to Joel and more nimble. How do we make you feel like you're not the strongest person in the room, but you still should be able to rise to the challenge and survive, you know, a fight with a bunch of people that are all bigger than you? So therefore it meant creating a character and systems and mechanics that allow you to be much more nimble. And that's where we added a jump button.
Deal.
In the first game we had a clamber button, but not really jumping. And here Ellie can jump. The combat scenarios are much more vertical, where Ellie can use elevation to her advantage.
Prone is a huge, huge one. Prone, obviously, it means to lay flat on the ground. Something so simple, again, something that in real life you'd be able to do. Letting the player have access to all their weapons, all the items, crafting, everything while in that position. And it just creates so many more emergent things in gameplay.
Now that we have this other state that the player could be in, which are very low to the ground, how else can we use this other than just hiding in vegetation? We're like, well, there's a lot of man-made things or different structures that have collapsed that allow just enough space for you to crawl under, and which means that now, as enemies are looking for you, you can crawl under things and hide, and it's just one more way to assess your environment and use it to Ellie's advantage. Now, because you can hide under things, we made them smarter and gave them the ability to look under things. So while you might hide somewhere and be safe for a while, eventually they're going to start looking under stuff, and if you're hiding under a truck and they spot you, they're going to yank you out and then try to kill you.
Dodging is a big one, because now with dodge, anytime you're in a scuffle, you have a chance to get away. You have a chance to counterattack. It lets escape be an option as well. Sometimes you just gotta run. And that is another part of this world, which is sometimes the threat is so overpowering that you just have to get away.
When you are partially hidden, or you're in grass, that means people from afar can't see you, but people from closer can kind of see you. They will eventually acquire you. You're not completely hidden when you're in grass.
She went into the grass. Watch yourself.
And it makes you as a player become much more aware of your surroundings.
Jump, prone, dodge, all these things feed into both exploration and combat, because it lets us expand the space. If the size of spaces can be bigger, the intricacy of spaces can be more complex, and it still works exactly as you would expect.
So when it came to our level design, we really wanted to challenge ourselves to make a world that really felt like a real space as much as we possibly could, and didn't feel like a series of combat encounters and exploration spaces and then combat encounters that felt like a Hall of Horrors or something, but something that really felt like a space that you could explore that seemed like a legitimate urban environment. And that pushed us to make our level design even more open than it was in the first game, which for us at the time was pretty open. In this game, we've gone so far in making the level design open that there are actually entire story moments, entire combat encounters, like full scripted sequences that you may completely miss. And there are things that we feel like, even though a portion of our player base may never see these things, the fact that when you do encounter them, you feel like you discovered them, it lends them this charm and this magic that I think is unique to games, that, you know, this happened to me because of what I did and what the place I explored to.
Crafting is very much about a payoff to exploration, meaning that when you enter new spaces, you want to look around for supplies. You want to open drawers and cabinets and look for different things that will allow you to craft either items that can help you heal, items that can help you attack multiple enemies at once, such as the Molotov or the landmine that Ellie can craft. Items that can help augment your weapons, like the silencer for her pistol, or craft new kinds of ammo.
It also gives us tons of interesting gameplay choices and overlaps that you can do at any moment and on the fly. We try to be a game that wants you to make a lot of different decisions in combat as possible. And the way that we've expanded the recipe roster and all of the recipes and how they interact with each other is carefully chosen for the different ingredients and making sure that you always have these interesting decisions to make.
We put a much stronger emphasis on the importance of the choices you make in the long term for your character.
It'd be useful.
Through the weapon upgrade system, through the player upgrade system, there aren't enough resources in a single playthrough to fully upgrade your character. The choices that you make, you're going to have to live with, and we wanted to make sure that all of the choices that you made had a really noticeable and tangible effect on the way that you play. You feel a greater kinship with Ellie because you are living with decisions that you've already made. Like you are continuing this through line of her journey through this world, and the moment-to-moment gameplay is influenced by that in a way that we haven't before. The realization that your choices have these long-term consequences is very much like the nature of the narrative of the game. And I'm happy that the mechanics are supporting that.
Your mouth is dry, your blood boils in your veins, while your skin turns cold as ice. Your body does not accept the blessing for what it is. I wonder, will you embrace it, or will you fight it?
Vampires play a pretty prominent role in the Dark Heart of Skyrim storyline this year, and this gave us the perfect opportunity to reevaluate the skill line and make some long-needed adjustments to improve the overall experience. Our overall focus for these updates was making both the vampire skill line and the overall experience a much more active role.
We have watched you ever since you first emerged from Cold Harbor. If you were like other mortals, you would soon turn. But you are unique.
The way you become a vampire in ESO hasn't changed. You can either get bitten by certain rare spawn NPCs in the world, or bitten by other players who are vampires. Once bitten, you have to complete a quest called the Scion of the Blood Matron.
I offer you a gift. Relish this new life I have given you.
feed, and grow powerful.
Feeding plays a much larger role in being a vampire. Feeding makes you more powerful now, and as a result, the player will spend a lot more time hunting NPCs to feed on. Vampires have been fully integrated into the justice system. This means that NPCs will react to overt vampiric actions and abilities.
Keep those fangs to yourself!
Kind preserve us, a vampire!
So, like the Necromancer, if you show your vampire abilities near citizens, you will incur a bounty and the guards will be called on you.
With time and experience, you will master all the vampiric arts. You will command an array of abilities. Some let you influence the mind of the weak, others let you wrench their life away. All inspire a terror no mortal heart can bear.
With the skill line rework, we focused heavily on what it means to be a vampire. Blood, elusiveness, aggression, and power are the primary gameplay concepts that really define the overall experience. Blood Frenzy is a really great example of a new skill that was added. It ticks all the boxes of what it means to be a vampire. It's a toggled skill that when active increases your damage, but also drains your health, so you're trading health for power, and that feels very, very vampiric.
A handful of greater vampires lay claim to a twisted shape, gifted to them by the Defiler. Why should my children not possess such horror-wrought strength? In you, we shall see this form perfected.
Vampire skill line changes that are coming with the Greymoor update are part of the base game. That means that all players will get access to the new skill line and changes. When the new update goes live, all current vampires will have their skill line experience converted over to the new skill line. The team is really excited about all of these changes to the new vampire experience. We can't wait to see what everybody does with them.
We go where our troublemaking kin go, and our kin are definitely up to trouble here in Skyrim. I just wish there were more of us. Verandis never prepared us for this.
Finally, back home in beautiful Evergreen. Harbor? What happened to this place? Do they actually like living like this? You go to university for a few years and the whole town falls in love with trash. Okay, that's happening. They may be okay with it, but I know we can do better. I just have to show them how. First step, reduce my eco-footprint. Solar panels, wind turbines, a few more updates and I'm off the grid. Feels better already. Now the hard part, getting my neighbors to want a cleaner, more sustainable city too. Fortunately, my buddy Nox is a real advocate for the eco-lifestyle. Rude flex, I know, but go with it. He's done some great work pushing neighborhood action plans, like a water shutoff day. He's a little hard on you if you don't participate, though. Sorry, Diane. Nox is campaigning to change this barren lot into a community garden. He's got big dreams of growing sustainable food, like vertical gardens that take less space to grow more, or harvesting insects for a crunchy alternative to meat. But it's not up to him. It's up to the people. And it looks like they voted for a community makerspace. He'll get over it. A makerspace is great. We don't have to throw away everything just because we don't want it anymore. Upcycle it. I love me some homegrown, ultra-organic, fresh farm-to-table fizzy juice. And these hand-dipped artisan candles are selling faster than they burn. All these makers have gotten the attention of the local entrepreneur, Bess. She's asking others to invest in her next big venture. Bess works from home as a civil designer. She invents products that help move the world toward a brighter future. She recycles found objects for parts and then uses this awesome fabricator to make them. This thing is fire! I gotta try it! Maybe I'll leave that part to Bess. Her inventions are going to make this community a beacon of sustainability. Big changes can start small. With just a little effort, you can impact your world too.
Desperados 3 is a real-time tactical stealth game. In this prequel to the beloved Desperados franchise, you will lead your gang on a glorious Wild West adventure and visit many iconic places like the forbidding mountains of Colorado, the bug-infested swamps of Louisiana, and the windswept deserts of Mexico. You will also get to experience the origin story of John Cooper and the rest of his gang. Now, let me make the introductions. The leader of the group is Cooper, a drifter and gunslinger who can kill quietly with a knife or take out multiple foes with his 2 revolvers. Strongman Hector carries a giant bear trap and can slay the toughest opponents with his trusty axe. Doc McCoy, cold-blooded bounty hunter, likes to be methodical, using lures, knockout gas, and his buntline special to take out his enemies from a distance without making much noise. Kate can fool the enemy with the right outfit and kill discreetly with her hidden gun. Isabel uses jinxes and poison darts to manipulate and control the enemy's minds. And there are a lot of enemies. In Desperados 3, you are always outnumbered, but you will quickly learn to read situations. By displaying the view cone of your enemy, you can check precisely what they can see. By crouching, the dark area can be passed through safely. But if you stand up or enter the bright area of the view cone, the enemy will start to detect you. The view cone will then fill up with yellow. If you manage to escape in time, they won't see you, and everything will be fine. But when the view cone turns red, things will get hot. The enemy will call for help, triggering the alarm, which means everybody in the area will start hunting you. And as if this wasn't enough, the alarm also triggers reinforcements who will come rushing out of guardhouses. If you manage to hide from the hunting party, the search will stop after a while, but the reinforcements will stay and patrol the area. In Desperados 3, you have to think before you act. Simply running blindly into situations won't get you far. This is why quick saving and quick loading is an essential part of the gameplay. It gives you the opportunity to try out different strategies when approaching the enemy. But now, let's see how we can use our gang's skills to show the enemy who's boss. Whenever you encounter a new group of bad guys, placing your gang in safe observation spots saves you from being surprised by patrols. You will quickly get a sense of blind spots or weaknesses in their routine. There are always a multitude of options for how to use different skills, allowing you to take out the enemy one by one. A very simple example would be Cooper's coin distraction trick that allows Doc to make that guard disappear. After you take out a guard, don't forget to hide the body. Dead or tied up enemies will also trigger the alarm if they are found by their buddies. There are many ways to get rid of your victims, like dragging them into bushes, throwing them down cliffs, leaving them in shallow water, or hiding them in a wardrobe.
Any trouble? Nope, nothing.
Most of your enemies are not stupid, though. Patrols will start looking for missing friends.
Are you hiding from me?
Poncho guards are smarter and more disciplined, so they cannot be fooled that easily. Guard dogs may have a shorter view cone, but they will sniff you out even in the best hiding places. And the elite longcoats only fall victim to the most sophisticated plans. Or Hector's huge axe. Another great way to take out your enemies without raising the alarm is to utilize environmental hazards. Smash your enemies with a loaded crane. Make them jump on the love train. Or give them a free ride in a minecart. If an enemy gets killed by accident while his friends are watching, they won't raise the alarm, since they don't suspect that you caused it. You can also choose to go full stealth and succeed without killing anyone at all. By using your knockout and tie-up skills, you can complete most missions without a single murder. But if you decide to permanently rid a whole town of bad guys, that's fine too. Should you run out of patience with one of the more brutal puzzles, you can turn the game into a tactical shooter. If you play it smart, you can get loud and use your guns to fight your enemies. Just make sure you keep an eye on your ammunition and the cooldown time of your skills. And there's one more thing you'll need. When you activate Showdown mode, the whole game pauses. This gives you time to react if something didn't go as planned. Showdown mode is your best friend if you want to get everything out of Desperados 3. Instead of loading a save game, you now have the means to get through hairy situations, even when the alarm has already been raised. And if you think pausing the game is too lily-livered for you, you can turn it off in the options menu. More often, you will use Showdown mode for planning complex actions. You can give each of your gang members a distinct command, which they will then execute simultaneously. This gives you the opportunity to take down multiple enemies at once, even when they watch each other closely. That said, you can also use Showdown mode to elevate your gun skills to the next level. Here, you can combine the pause feature with the planning feature so you can play out tactical shootouts. Coordinate your attacks, draw attention away from your friends, and play cat and mouse while your guns reload. Whatever your approach is, just make sure that in the end, no enemy is left to tell anyone what hit them. Desperados 3 launches on June 16, 2020 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Sorcerer.
We're in uncharted territory. We've changed this timeline for good.
Let us join the armies massing at the Sea of Blood.
They are unaware of our army's full strength.
We will unleash hell.
Without the crown, there can be no new era. Our time for preparation is over.
Haven't we done this before?
I have no record of a previous encounter.
We have met. I am sure of it.
Fight!
Get over here.
Fatality. RoboCop wins.
You are coming with me.
Need backup now. You are a machine.
I identify as human.
Then you choose termination.
Fight!
Get over here.